Techno. Hollywood.
Oh man, what are we doing? Number 20.
I don't know. It's now officially number 20.
It's officially, I guess it's officially real when we do a year.
I guess, yeah. And we didn't give up yet.
Yeah, and I stopped eating right during the podcast.
Exactly. I can hear your food and your drinking. Let's have a toast first to the 20. Cheers, Latif.
Cheers.
Okay, this
Number
is a
20.
remote one again, of course, because I'm back in Berlin.
Yeah.
The next one will be back in LA. I'm coming this Sunday. I don't know if you're aware of this.
No, I think maybe I was, but I forgot. So we're gonna meet in person?
Yeah, on Monday.
Oh boy.
That's the plan.
And then I leave Wednesday.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're just a bunch of globe trotting.
It was so cool.
Do nothing.
Do nothing, just wasting the
Vinyl
planet's
playing
resources.
Amoeba Records. Look at that.
Oh,
Boom.
nice.
Yeah.
Good. Hold on, what happened now? Okay, yeah. I'm bouncing some files in the background. So,
great.
Yeah. Now it's done. It's all
Okay.
good. Okay, so where do we start? I think we start with German English.
Yeah.
So
good. What do you got?
This one is inspired by our buddy Eddie. He basically
Eddie.
he sort of suggested this one, so we'll check it out. So if you basically in German, there's a saying, if you want someone to sort of check something out and basically have a look at it, I guess, and then you'll say the German version, you'll say the German saying, wirf mal ein Auge drauf. And this literally translates to, hey, throw an eye on it.
Oh,
basically.
Throw an eye on it?
Yeah, exactly. So it's basically, yeah, you look at it and you throw an eye on it. That's wirf mal ein Auge drauf. You have to
How
try
can
it now.
you fit
Wirf.
that? Wirf eye. Well, I gotta slow this one down.
Just again. Wirf mal ein Auge.
Ein Auge.
Yeah, good. Drauf. Yeah. So it's throw an eye on it.
One more
Would
time
be the
all together.
Wirf mal ein Auge drauf.
Wirf mein ein Auge drauf.
Yeah, good, not bad. Throw an eye on it. So you can start. Yeah, it's like
It's like
check it
that
out.
rap song. Throw some D's on it.
Exactly. Yeah. So you basically you just say like, hey, throw an eye on it. You know.
Okay. Is it casual? Like, yeah, throw an eye on it. Pass me.
Yeah, it's more casual. Like, yeah, just
Pass
check
me
it
the
out.
beer
And,
stein.
yeah, just check it out. And if you want to have someone, you write in like some sort of note or like, and it just tells them, hey, throw an eye on it. You know.
Yeah.
Just check
I heard
it
a
out.
good tip
Give
for
me some-
Riverside is that it sucks. We have to like be very conscious to like fully stop talking before the next person talks. So I know I'm bad at jumping in.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's work on that.
Yeah, that's good. So you have to actually listen while the other person talks.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
going to
wait
be
for
challenging.
The clue. Exactly. For me too, I always interrupt people, which is also not so good. So let's just keep interrupting each other.
Someone just told me I interrupt too much. I'm like, I thought I was pretty chill, but all right.
Yeah, but sometimes also you want to keep it exciting. And exciting is when you interrupt someone. You know?
It sucks when you don't have like, you're always searching for like the banter back and forth, but when someone's just monologuing over you, they're also guilty because they're not leaving you the space
Exactly.
to come in. So if like you're not leaving the space, I'm coming in. Like
exactly.
I'm not just going to sit here and listen to your 4-page monologue.
Yeah. It's the yin and the yang. You got to throw it back and forth. It's like a game.
Yeah.
It's a play. Yeah.
It is a play.
yes
It's like
and.
tennis. Yes. I didn't know Germans know improv. Yes and.
Yeah, I mean, someone taught me. That's why I know.
Okay.
No, Malte taught me because he's like, yes and I think that's a good
He's been in
conversation
Venice too
flow.
long.
Exactly. He's been in Venice. He's doing all these courses with the yes and improv classes.
I like it.
So from the last time we actually saw each other, we actually played 5 shows with Joplin, and it was because the
5.
summer is kind of busy with festivals. So I'll start with the first one. It was a private party in Italy. Can't say too much, but all I can say is I met again, but this time a little longer. I met the legend. Who is it? My favorite one, Nile Rodgers again. So for me, that was like mind blowing.
Again.
So again. But last time, last time I shook his hand and he walked by the Grammy party and he talked to Joplin a little bit. But I didn't talk to him. And this time I got introduced. I talked to him for like a good 2-3 minutes, and then I sort of his handlers sort of pushed me away again,
Hmm.
and it was cool because I was just like telling, "Hey, I really admire your work, blah blah. I'm a big fan." And he looked at me, hey, and then the first thing's like, "Hey, you have a cool look." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks." So then he
Again,
basically,
see?
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then he looked at my chain, which is this one here, and then he's like, "You got this from Bali?" And like, no, actually not. I actually was inspired, which is a true story. I saw like some interview of him in a going record shopping in New York or something, talking about his favorite records, like Nile Rodgers on YouTube, and he had on this exact same chain with this sort of pattern, but obviously a bigger one. Like it looked much fatter, like and it's heavy steel, and it's called, I don't know how to pronounce it, probably like a Byzantine chain, like it's
Hmm.
and I think it's actually Asian inspired. That's why he probably said Bali. And I told him the story quickly. So, hey, that's cool. So actually, you're wearing this because of me. I'm like, yes, exactly. Yeah.
And
And we
he
kept,
noticed it.
yeah, and he noticed it. Noticed it. Yeah, exactly. So
So it was on
it's
brand for him.
yeah, I think, and it's also like it's interesting how like these guys. I mean, I googled it. He's 70 years old, right? I mean, how attentive he is, and I mean, I guess he's fully sober and super sharp still, you know. And then just the little details Mr. Rogers looks into. I guess that was also interesting. Then we kept walking towards the stage, and I said like, yeah, and also I'm good friends with. I dropped it because like not a lot of people know, but now Rogers in his time where he wasn't that big again after like before Daft Punk brought him and Pharrell brought him on again. He actually he produced Soul Decision's
Yeah,
album.
yeah,
I
we
don't know,
talked
yeah,
about that.
with Trevor. So I
Yeah.
mentioned Trevor. Yeah, you know, I'm friends with Trevor Guthrie, and he's like, what? Like he looked a little bit, and then he didn't. And I guess it was maybe I reminded him of a time or something, but he's like, ah, okay, cool, whatever. So, but it wasn't like a good entry
It
point.
it,
I
it, it
probably shouldn't
didn't
have
bond
dropped it.
you.
It didn't bond me. It probably killed the Bali bond again. But so damn Trevor.
He's like,
Anyways,
you're faded out now.
I exactly.
Q faded,
So
you're done.
Q faded out. Yeah, then I was
Yeah.
actually faded out, and it was
Yeah.
done. But it was still like I think cool. And I actually mentioned Shiro, of course, to LA. Like I think he knows
Yeah.
Shiro quite well, and Anderson Park and stuff, and that crew. So I think like next time I'll see him, he'll probably remember me. Hopefully, I mean, the people like this, they meet people all the time. You know, like hundreds of people every day. You know.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then
That's
I
so
got to
cool.
meet. Yeah, it was very cool, and then and also because it was like some bunch of jazz bands played there, and then I also got to meet Marcus Miller. I don't know, you know Marcus Miller? He's a
No.
bass player. Like he played with Miles Davis. Like this guy's also in his 60s, and he's like he's one of the guys who sort of made slap bass very popular. You know, and he played and co-wrote some stuff. I mean, he played with Miles Davis, which is an honor by itself. Then he did like probably 20 albums as Marcus Miller and had like a bunch of jazz hits too. But then he also famously played on Luther Vandross' Never Too Much, the bass line, like that classic song. He was, I think, 19 as like a session musician, and he did the like the slide in, you know, like, and then he played and he co-wrote, produced some film scores. Like he's a fully Grammy winning musicians legend, you know, like, and he's now living in LA, I think, by the west on the west side, and he was interested in to talk, and then with Joplin, he likes electronic stuff, so we'll see. Like I'll definitely shoot him an email or something and try to contact him when we're in LA, because it's like these are the people, like, you know, I told you the story. I also got to meet Herbie Hancock one time, and I love jazz and fusion and jazz rock and all that stuff. So it's, for me, it's mind blowing to meet these people, you know, and talk shop, you
And
know.
it's hard to find a great bass player, so now you have one.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he's not going to play for us, but who knows? I mean, he might be up for something. He looked like, I think the higher up you are, the more interesting are in different styles and genres, and in the new generation, in a way, I think. You
Yeah.
know?
I love
So
that
let's
story
see.
about Prince coming into that Stevie Nicks song session, Stand Back.
No, what's that? Sorry.
So I think they were dating or something, but whatever
Yeah.
happened, he's like, he comes in and he's like, I'll play keys on your song. And she's like, okay. And they cue it up and he does like one take and then like leaves. He just
Yeah, of
like
course.
walks out of the studio. And that's what these guys are going to do with
Yeah,
you.
I know. Yeah,
At
yeah. I
Sunset
mean,
Sound,
these,
I think, just like,
of
it's that
course.
song like dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun, dun, and he just
yeah.
does the whole thing and then
Thing.
walks out. I'm like,
Yeah,
All
of
right,
course.
cool.
It's like
And
when
there's
he got.
another one when Cameron, this is a more urban one,
Yeah,
but Cameron was recording and Old Dirty Bastard was in the other room, like at the studio next door, and he walks over and he says, "Turn on the mic," and he just goes in and starts rapping on Cameron's song and then leaves. And everyone's like, "What the hell was that?"
yeah. I mean, also Prince did the that's the one you see on YouTube. The one where he plays "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," I think some rock and roll guitar fame induction, and he walks out, plays the guitar solo, and then while he plays, he had someone, like one of his roadies, be in the crowd, and he sort of leans back. It's all on camera, like, and lets himself like fall into the crowd, but it's his guy basically covering him and then pushing him back up, like a stage effect. And at the very end, he just throws up his guitar and just exits the stage, and everyone's like, jaws are dropping. And he plays one of the best guitar solos, like Tom Petty. Everyone's after, like, oh, he's the best and stuff. Yeah? And no one, like, there's these comments on YouTube, like, does anyone know where the guitar landed? Because no one sees it. It's just he throws it up and it's gone. Like, no, it doesn't
maybe
fall
someone
down.
up, like a stagehand is like grabbing
I know,
it.
yeah. A stagehand's probably upstairs. Like a stagehand was in the crowd. Like he all staged the whole show. Like, and these are, of course, you could say, like, these are all like fun stuff to do, and it's all gimmicks and stuff. But in addition to that, he delivered one of the best guitar solos ever, on
Wow.
the planet. So that's why, in addition to that, he also with the gimmicks, it makes it even better. So I think that's the
We should
genius
post the
of Prince.
link.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's one of the, like, I've seen this video 30 times. Yeah, so because it's so mind blowing, because you see the old guys like, why is Prince here? And they're all
Yeah.
playing their little guitar solos, and then he comes up and then just rips it. Like, and it's like, I mean, Eric Clapton was asked to tell the story at the time, like there's footage on it, like, hey, so how does it feel to be the best guitar player on the planet, considered the best? And he's like, I don't know, ask Prince.
Yeah.
It's Eric Clapton.
What a
Mr.
great
Slow.
answer. Oh, wow. Prince has the best
And also,
stories. I got two more fun
yeah.
ones. One was like,
Okay, yeah,
I was actually with Omar when we were
yeah.
working. Omar Grant, he's now the CEO of Rock Nation, but at the time he
Yes,
was
yes.
A&Ring Kelly Rowland's album, and
Yeah.
he played this in the studio. It was Prince with Michael Jackson on stage with James Brown.
I know, I saw that.
And Prince comes
YouTube.
back on the stage. He's getting a piggyback ride
I know.
to the stage, and he looks kind of drunk, and he's like falling over,
He's
and
never
like
drunk.
plugs
Yeah.
in the guitar,
Yeah.
and he's like dang, and he's like, it was, and then Michael Jackson's there. The whole thing was
Yeah.
insane. This is like one of the best videos you can watch on YouTube.
I know, because it's like James Brown's calling, like the Godfather of Soul. If he calls you out, you gotta come. Because
Yeah.
he's like, I know Michael's in here, I know Prince is like, come to the stage, and you're like, damn it, James Brown called us out, like, we gotta go. Like, they are all inspired by him. The dance moves, everything. Like, he's the Godfather.
That we have to post the link to that one.
Yeah,
That's just
it's one of the best videos on
it's too
regarding
epic.
music
And
and
then
live show.
the other one, I think it was a Questlove story. I might have told this already, but where Questlove is DJing for Prince, and he's like, "Oh, Prince, I'm gonna like blow his mind." He's like, "I'm gonna play Fela Kuti. I'm gonna play all this like stuff," and
Yeah.
he's playing it. And Prince is like, "No, don't play that. Play something else." He's like, "Oh, damn! Prince told me to skip. All right, so like, I'll play this other thing. This is gonna blow his mind." And Prince is like, "No, next."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, what do I play?" He's like, "Now Prince is like hating on me," and then he plays something else, and Prince goes, "Nope, just play this," and he hands them the Finding Nemo DVD. And so he had to put on this Disney movie and sit there.
I think I heard that story from Questlove too, because I remember, like, especially because he was saying, like, I played some obscure rare groove African Fela Kuti, like hipster stuff, and then Prince was super unimpressed.
It's
funny.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then we got out of Italy, which is hard to do if you're somewhere in a Tuscany at a private place.
I'm about to be there.
Yeah, try finding a cab at 5 a.m. in the morning somewhere in the Tuscany on a Sunday.
Not possible?
Not possible. We had to have local help. They spoke Italian, obviously. Call up cab drivers, like with some random numbers they got, and wake one up and basically tell us to pick us up. We gave him a bunch of money for him to drive us all the way to the airport, because the closest airport was like an hour away. Then we made the flight. We went to Ibiza, straight off the plane, straight to Covasanta and the outdoor spot where we played. It's the Sunday party. Like, it was crazy. Like, there were like
the Florence
dancers,
airport?
flamethrowers. It wasn't Florence. It was Pisa.
Pisa, okay.
Pisa, where the
Tower.
the the Tower of Pisa is exactly. Yeah.
Where's it's leaning?
So we flew out of Pisa.
It doesn't give me a lot of
Exactly,
confidence in
the
the
Leaning
Pisa
Tower.
airport. If they can't build a tower, they're gonna build a whole. They're gonna all the planes just land
Yeah,
slightly ajar.
yeah. And the Pisa airport has like 4 gates. It's very small.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, then we came to Ibiza, and then here's a funny story. Ibiza, like also like which shows you like that talent, and sometimes like it takes time to grow something. So the same show, like where we played at Covasanta, like the headliner was a guy called Bora Uza.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, yeah, but I never thought about the name much. But and then a friend of mine, he's like, you know who this bar, like a friend who I was staying with, shout out to Danny Hall. He's like, do you know who this Bora is? I'm like, no. And he's like, you met him. I'm like, what? When? You met him like almost 20 years ago. I'm like, what? Yeah, he was a teenage guitar musician prodigy, and he got signed to like Sony Germany back then, and one of the friends of ours, he produced the album. And then back then it didn't work. It was way too musical. Did his artist thing. Then he went back to Turkey. He's like this Turkish guy. He became a star in Turkey. Then he stopped that career too, and then he came back now, and now he's a DJ, but not a traditional DJ. He's also like singing on top. He has loop pedals. He has like he sings, he plays guitar, like he makes it a whole performance, a whole show. And
Oh
then I
wow.
was like, this is gonna be so fun. Like he's not gonna recognize me, I guess, or whatever. Like he steps out the car, he sees me, I'm like, oh my God, I remember you. And then it was like literally 15, 18 years ago, something in Hamburg. And he's like, hey, what are you doing? And we reconnected. I'm like, yeah, I'm here with Joplin. And he's like, what? That's so crazy and cool. And then he's like, okay, yes. So he said basically he had his artist phase, and now he stopped all this, and now he's in the entertainer phase. So
Oh wow.
basically it's all about like basically pleasing the crowd, and he ripped it like after Joplin. Like he basically he killed the like it was so good, people freaked out. It was a great show because he's dancing, he's shouting, he's playing guitar, so he's dropping house beats and techno. It's all like a big whirlwind. But he also said, like we talked after, he's like, yeah, like back then, I mean, he said like, yeah, Joplin is in her artist phase. I'm past that. I'm basically I'm in the performer entertainer phase, which just has some truth and something to it. But also I feel like, I guess the biggest thing is like, if you make it in your artist phase and really cut through with your own artistry and people come to see you, which we're going to go to the next show. I think that's of course the best in a way, but it's also the hardest to do, because if you don't do it, like at least he found a way to sort of still make music, still entertain. He has lots of followers. He tours the world as Bora Uza now, but more as a like almost like a mashup DJ performer. Like there's also a beauty to that, obviously, because he's like giving the people what they want almost.
Yeah, and it's
So that was
also
interesting.
yeah. Does that mean that basically he's now a performer because he was a successful artist from there? So basically, we have these artists that are like, you go out and become an artist, but that's like a luxury to become like a post artist. Like I was an artist, and now I'm big enough that I have a following that I can just kind of do my thing. And not many people get that chance.
And yeah, I think in his case, it's probably because he was more like a famous artist, did his thing only in Turkey.
Yeah.
So now with his entertaining, it just travels further because he can now like DJ worldwide, which he does. Like he has a residence in Ibiza, in France. He plays all these like bougie places in a way, because like beach parties, all this stuff. Because I think as an artist, it's obviously much harder to cut through globally with your own thing in a way.
Right.
And this with also talking like pre-YouTube, pre-social media, because he started like 10, 15 years ago. So to cut through, and it was still major label land, like you had no real other venues. But now I think it's different. Now you can do your artist thing and push through and eventually sell hard tickets. And now it goes back to selling hard tickets and soft tickets. So here's the next segment. So Zurich, next stop, Rufus du Sol, playing on a Wednesday, selling out this massive place, whatever, 10,000 people on a Wednesday night, 8 p.m., all hard tickets. It was amazing. Like that's a real artist that has their own fans, dedicated people. And we arrived there, and it was like the treatment, like I can still like fantasize about it, because it's like, this is what you really want. Like like we got there, like they read the technical writer, all the equipment was there, they had everything run right, and then basically then after we did the sound check, there was a front of house. It's like, do you like this and that? Then they had our visuals. They had a big screen. They let us use the big screen. We got to play the Joplin visuals. And then the next things, then the light guy shows up. He's like, hey, so what colors do you prefer? Like, I would suggest this and that. Like, it was so professional and on point. Like, it was like mind blowing. And we did a sound check with a front, and we had enough time. Then we went into the backstage, the green room, all the drinks, the cater, everything, our whole hospitality. It was all there, fruits, and they had artist dinners and catering. Like, it was like, wow, this
They're
is the
Swiss.
goal. Yeah, exactly. They're also Swiss, of course, and
Yeah,
that
everything
helps.
is
Yeah,
like,
it's on point. Like,
yeah,
Swiss people, like if you come, like I was in a hotel once, and then it was like the pickup was at 1 p.m. And then 12:55, the hotel thing rings. I'm like, hello, and he's like, yeah, we're here for your pickup. I'm like, yeah, but it's not one yet. He's like, yeah, one is late. 5 minutes early is on time in
yeah,
Switzerland. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll come down. And I was like,
yeah.
that's the thing, like
The Swiss
so
get mad
this.
at the Germans for being
Yeah,
late.
but it was a combination of the Swiss, but it's
Yeah,
also was a combination that it was the team of Rufus. They were so
yeah,
great. Like it was
right, right,
like you
right.
could see like these are professionals. They know what they're doing. It's not some random club that some party promoter put up. Like this was like it made us, and then the show went great. Like there were like 4 or 5 thousand people already when Joplin played, and it was one of her best shows. Like the people really got it. It was the right crowd also, very mixed, a little, I would say, stewed, like 25 plus in a way. And it was like this is the ultimate goal, to be at that level. Then we also got to hang out with the Rufus guys, and a bunch of other DJs came by. It was like a really good experience. And then also their social media team shot a few cool shots. I'll send it to you, and like where she's on stage, and it was just like the next level stuff. And it's like it's so different from just the random club gig that we went to after.
This is
Everything
the
was,
yeah. You're at high
this is the
end.
next one. So we
Yeah,
were basically thrown up and down from the levels, and of course, like everything was just perfect, flawless, perfect. Like, and the whole experience, like we're like, wow, why could like every show should be like this, But it's obviously not. You have these wins, and then you have the next one was kind of the exact opposite. I mean, not to down them, but I mean, went to Madrid. There was a festival that we
is that
played.
good? Is that good in like in DJ world? Because in comedy, it's great to like you do this big show and like everything's great, and then you do like a tiny show in a bar, and you're like, oh, that, and no one laughs for the same jokes, and you're like, it's like up then down, up then
Yeah,
down.
yeah. I don't guess it's good, but it sort of humbles you for sure.
Yeah,
And it's also like some of the stuff that works on a bigger crowd probably sometimes doesn't work on a smaller crowd, Like, but in Madrid was the problem was not the smaller crowd, because it was also like a 10,000 people plus festival. The problem was our playtime was a little bit too early because there were way too many big acts. So we, as a support act, you start to play early, and early we're talking 4 p.m. and we're talking Madrid in Spain now in July. It's like it was over 100 Fahrenheit, like 35 whatever Celsius. It was the blistering sort of sun on the noon sun, and like some of the sound check, the computer wouldn't even start up because the case was overheating. So
oh
and they had
wow,
no cover. Like none of the people thought like, hey, why don't we cover up the stage a little bit for the DJ so there's some sort of shadow? No cover. Everyone had technical problems. No one could load up there. And we have the good M1 laptop already, but still it was
yeah.
overheating and everything. And then to make things worse, like I'm like, where's the sun going? He's like, yeah, it's just gonna run over here. So the whole time, like they built the stage on the wrong angle. Like the sun should be behind you, but the sun was like going the whole day in front of you, just on the LED wall
You
too.
see
Like so
some guys
basically
with
they had the LED.
umbrellas, or yeah,
I know, like, but also the LED wall didn't make sense. I guess that because it was so bright, and then when Joplin played, like she couldn't see her screen, like it was overheating. She almost had a heat stroke. The sun was in her eyes, like, and the DJ before and after is also like none of these guys. And then they couldn't bring an umbrella, and it was like a mess. And then also in the backstage, I'm not complaining, but no drinks, no food, no nothing. It was just like it was the total opposite from the Rufus show. So I was like,
sounds like a
okay, but it's
nightmare.
Yeah, no, but it's okay. You got to run through it, and everyone tried their best, and it's also a little
It's
bit
my
different, of
nightmare
course.
to have no
I know
son. Oh, to be an only son.
yeah, and then basically, I mean, it's also different if Swiss people organize stuff. It's there's a different cultural thing
You're like,
there
yeah, you'll
for
be
sure.
fine. And then the Swiss builds you an entire watch and a sundial that changes the whole thing.
Yeah, so it was interesting, yeah. But I mean, I can't rave about the Rufus show enough because like this was where you won. Ideally, like one day we'll get there to be the headliner, to have the right people, the right crowd on a Wednesday at 8 p.m. show up for you, and then have a great, fantastic show. It was so good. Like
Yeah,
also their performance and everything was really good.
that's
So then
awesome.
after Madrid, no sleep basically on the plane directly back to Berlin to go to this festival. It's called the Fusion Festival. Every German or even international European knows about this. It's like some of they call it the mother of festivals. I just learned about this. I think it was started 25 years ago with a little fun party. Now it has like I think 25 stages. It has like three, four, five big stages, of course. It's all electronic music. It's in the woods, 2 hours outside of Berlin, like in a beautiful countryside. It's about 80, 90,000 people there. It's always sold out. They have no lineup really announced. Like people just go there because they go there. It's like a Coachella. Like you don't even need to like people go there for the spectacle.
For
And
it, yeah.
it's but it's also very it's funny that I mentioned Coachella, but it's a total opposite. It's very hippie. People camp there for weeks. They have their bring their own art cars. No one really takes a shower. I have a feeling there, you know, like
It's
it's
like
kind of
Burning Man
everything's
more.
kind of yeah, it's kind of burning, kind of smelly, dirty, dusty,
Yeah,
and also like people are full on. Their head is blown because they're like doing all kinds of stuff there, you know, and it's
another nightmare
and
for me.
another, and then basically they have these random cars that are not allowed to be on the street that they rebuilt that are just driving around the festival sites on as the drivers like from stage to stage. So we got there, made it on time, but it's a festival like everyone loves playing there. Even the biggest names play there because it's such an experience and the people are fully on and they just want to rave, you know, like like if you can't get a crowd happening at Fusion, like you should consider changing a job because it's like it's almost like everyone that plays anything gets love and feedback there, you know, like because it's so diverse and it's so
Yeah,
different genres,
if
all
you can't do this
electronic.
crowd, you can't do it.
I know,
That's
like
it.
just
Yeah,
forget it and give up. And like but we played together with buddies from Adana Twins and Rodriguez Jr. And it was a great show. We barely made it on stage. They had the right mixer there, and it was a great. And it goes on for 5. And you saw people there that I'm sure have been up for 3 4 days nonstop, like with like the crazy druggy eyes, you know. Like you saw people there walking, could barely walk on the festival. It's a crazy sight. I'm telling you, like you're not supposed to really take videos and pictures for obvious reasons, but we sort of did a little bit, you know.
yeah.
And it's like the experience was just like very very different. But I can recommend it. It's fun. It's a little crazy, but it's there's nothing like that. I haven't seen anything like that in my life. You know,
Yeah, and
like a
you've seen a
festival like
lot.
this. You know, yeah, I've seen a lot of festivals and crazy
Yeah,
stuff, but this is really like wow. And then there's people that build their stages for like weeks. They go there in advance. And now
this
the
is
funny
Burning
thing is
Man,
like
right?
it's Burning Man. It's a little bit of the Burning Man
Yeah.
spirit for sure. Yeah. And it's very alternative. Let's put it this
Hmm.
way. And what's also very funny is like all the biggest stars there, they play for a very very low fee, and it's basically almost no fee. Like everyone sort of gets the same fee, but what they do, like let's say DJ normally gets 30 grand or 50 grand and he plays for like a grand and they apparently take the rest money because I mean the ticket is still 2 3 400 euros. It's sold out and it's 80 90,000 people there. You do the math, you know, there's
Yeah,
money
that's a
there
lot. Yeah.
and there's a lot of money there, but apparently it goes towards like a what's a fine like a charity, like their own charity, and then they sort of invest that money into the people living in that area and giving back to some charities and projects and stuff. So I hope they do that because there's some bad tongues saying like, yeah, they invested in their charity, and then it's basically just them taking out
It's a
the money.
fraud. It's a charity for them.
It's a charity for them. But who knows? I don't want to. I don't want to say it because we were very happy to be invited and stuff, because it's sort of a, like, you get knighted. If you get invited, that's a big thing.
It's a big deal.
In the German festival, it's a big deal. But I can definitely see, like, I mean, and none of these guys probably ever thought that it's going to get that big, you know? So, of course, but it's also like talking about branding again. How cool is it that you have a brand that's bigger than all the artists? Like, you know, like everyone just goes to Fusion just to go there because they expect they're going to see some great artists there. And then the artists also want to go there because they know that it's great crowd there. So the brand wins. And those guys took them 25 years or something, but still, you know, like, how cool is it? You have a brand, you can technically pay the artist a very low fee. I mean, it's like Coachella, I guess, you know, like,
the Super
Coachella
Bowl
doesn't pay that well. So like, it's basically like, it's called exposure at this point. And like, if you don't want to play, there's 10 other big name artists that want to play, you know?
Yeah, so and people go to Coachella almost no matter what. So
exactly. That's
you
what
see
I mean.
The lineup and you're like, I guess that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same with Fusion. People go to Fusion anyways. It's sold out the day they announce the tickets for next year already. It's like a day later, it's sold out. You know, like, that's how crazy it is. And it's also personalized, apparently. You can't really sell it on the black market, the tickets. And so it's resale. Like, it's no resale. Like, it's really for the people, you know, there. Yeah, and that's why I think it's definitely a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So what was
you want to do some pop culture? Let's talk about some pop culture stuff.
Yes.
You seen the Indiana Jones?
No. What's that?
Oh, it's so good.
There's a new Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
No, I know what Indiana Jones is. I remember the 80s, but I don't know. I didn't know that there's another movie out.
Of course, every Indiana Jones is Indy fighting Nazis. And this one takes place in the 1960s, and they still figure out a way to get Nazis to be the bad guys.
Hold on, but it's number 4, right?
5.
Like, how many were there? 5. See, I missed number 4 already, I guess.
Yeah, it was okay. You're
and
fine.
But it's not with Harris. Is it with Harrison Ford?
Yeah, and he's like, he's late 70s. Like,
what?
Yeah, and they do a whole sequence where he's, spoiler alert, so don't listen to this if you want to see the movie, but he's CGI'd young back in World War II fighting Nazis again, which is like exactly what you want to see, is Harrison Ford fighting Nazis.
Of course, yeah. Americans love Americans to fight Nazis and win, of course. Yeah.
Well, Nazis is it's like one of the few bad guys that no one's going to stick up for and be like, well, they're marginalized. Exactly. They're like, no, they're Nazis.
No.
Done.
They're Nazis, yeah. Done. And it's the most recent Western world bad guys that were there, if you think about it. I mean,
and they're the best bad guys.
Yeah, and they're also, I guess,
There's one great line in it where the bad guy, he makes a joke, and then Harrison Ford's like, hey, you're German, don't make jokes. I was like, that's a pretty good line there.
Yeah, I guess. Talking about jokes, did you do another comedy? Did you play it around town? Like, did you do another comedy show or a comedy bunker? What's going on?
I've been swamped. At work at the Elysian, just kind of getting that place into shape. So it's really been consuming. I just kind of took a step back and I was like, oh my God, this is taking up all my time. So I got to get a better balance here because it's really just taking up every day right now. Yeah. And I haven't done a show since that Filipino show.
Really? Okay.
The Filipino restaurant show. It wasn't a show of Filipinos, but although that would be a good show.
What else was, pop culture. I saw, just to fall asleep, I guess. I saw but it was actually better than I thought. Like the Arnold documentary on Netflix.
Oh, I want to see that.
See that?
Yeah,
that's good too. Like I think it's 3-part, like always like 1 hour each. So I saw the first one, and I sort of know his story, obviously, because it's like he's almost like a German Austrian national treasure here. And it's like, I also read his book, which is somewhere over there. Yeah. And I think it was his autobiography, but it's visualized pretty nice. He's in it. He's narrating it. So it is quite inspiring to see a guy from this little ass town in Austria go all the way to being a global superstar and then become governor. And if he was born in the States, he would have been president by now. Vader's dilemma, it's a great thing. It's always basically they say like if you have a big company that you're building on one street, like while you're doing like you already have to fund the next company across the street that's gonna be this crazy startup that's gonna disrupt your business. So once you basically get disrupted, you just move over to the other building. You know, that's but that's like so hard to say. No, but it's so hard to do obviously because once things are moving, you're always like think, it's all good. You know, like you don't think strategically anymore.
There's a great book about Intel. Like I think it was Andy Grove, the CEO of Intel. He calls in, Moore's law, like that law that like computing power doubles every 10 years or something.
Yeah.
And so he calls Gordon Moore, other Intel guys into his office. And there's Intel at the time, they're not known for microprocessors, they're known for memory chips. Just like little RAM chips. And he's like, hey, we're losing RAM battle, and but we have this microprocessor division that's not really working. He's like, if you had to do it, like, what should we do? Like, if you had to start over, like, what would you do? And everyone's like, I think Gordon Moore, he's like, you got to get out of memories. Like, but that's like their main business. And they literally closed their main business because they saw the writing on the wall. But that was allowed them to take the resources and put it into chips, processors.
Yeah,
so
that's
those
what
are
you
two
said.
Great books, like Innovator's Dilemma. I think we talked about it already. But
we talked about it already.
Andy Grove's book, Only the Paranoid Survive.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, and it's basically I like the thing you said, legacy costs. But you gotta kill your baby, so to say. You gotta say, okay, this is not working. You can't. And then the company who doesn't have legacy costs to maintain the old model and sort of for the old people, like you just gotta like Apple always say. I mean, they just shut off like there's no more plug like this, and everyone's like, why? What? You can't do this. But people have headphones and this and that. They're like, fuck it, no, just gonna change it. And that's how you keep pushing.
And Apple's actually because they can actually phase things out and be like, all right, this is the end of support for this device. We're not making the parts anymore. And also with cars is different because a car can run. Like I have a 2006 MacBook on my shelf. It can kind of work, but not really.
Yeah. Not really. You
not
can't
anything
update,
useful.
You can't do anything. Nothing useful. Yeah. I have like a bunch of laptops here, like which are just useless. The decoration.
I got to get in better habit of trading them in because they do give you money now.
Yeah, but
before they expire.
They do. But this is only like I tried, but the ones they have to be the maximum 10 years old, I think, or 8 years old. The really old ones they don't. You can't.
Oh no! But like instead of like waiting until they're expired, I need to like.
That's why all the new laptops I buy, I will always trade in the old one. And you have a time to transfer everything. I mean, it's all in the cloud anyways, and then trade it in. So I'm not going to have new laptops lying around anymore because it makes no sense.
It's silly, I need to get to the M2 program. I'm still on the Intel. I think we have the exact same laptop.
Yeah, it's shit. Like it's like I'm changing this year. This is I need to get on the M2 now.
Yeah. It's not shit for anything except for the video stuff. I feel like it's lagging a bit.
Yeah, even the audio, the plugins don't really work, and it's just like I think I have so much RAM computing, but somehow there's like it doesn't flow right, and
it's so interesting because when I got it, I was like, "This is when I got it, I was like,
I thought like I'm never gonna need anything else anymore, and now it's already like feels old.
Yeah, but I guess 5 years is about the limit.
Yeah, but this is I feel only 3 years old now. 2-3. Mine is only 2-3 years old.
Mine's 3.5.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, it was right before COVID.
Yeah. Same. I got it. Yeah. Everything's fine. Buying new laptops.
It's basically the last model of before the M chips.
Yeah, same.
Same. Okay,
which they didn't. They never tell you like, hey, you're about to buy the last pieces.
It's like fuck. Anyways, so what else do we have still? Do we have I have nothing else really anymore.
I think what I'm gonna do is for when I'm in Europe, I'm gonna bring my laptop and we'll record because then I'll have some other stories, and then we don't have to panic. We don't have to panic. Record a bunch.
Yeah, but also like you will have to see like if you get good enough internet. I don't know if like. The internet is
Italian
a bitch
internet
in Europe.
Really?
Forget it. Like in Tuscany, oh my god! Like
really?
And like you have to like I mean, you can barely have cell phone reception down there. Like, but that's the beauty of it. You don't want to be on the internet and on your phone. You want to enjoy Italy and the
Yeah.
food, So, but don't expect like high speed video quality internet, really.
No 720p. We can't record. We'll
I
give it a
guess we'll
shot.
see.
I'll do one
We'll
from
give it a shot,
Paris.
but
Paris
yeah,
should be
yeah,
fine.
yeah. Paris should be fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
any large major city, you're fine. Yeah,
I mean,
but I guess
speaking of more news, we're going to Paris next week, and now it's going to be riots.
yeah, that's. But I think by that time it's over because they're more in Marseille and Paris.
I'm going to Paris.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I think by that time, I mean, they're right now in Paris, and it's only a few blocks, I guess. But there's always riots in Paris because they have a huge problem with the banlieues and all that stuff. And
I remember the first time I went to
racial
Paris, I
problem.
was by the what's the Sorbonne?
The Seine.
No, the Sorbonne.
The Sorbonne, yeah.
The university.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is such a nice university. And then these kids come out with signs. I was like, oh, look at these kids marching. And then they're like, oh, look at these kids flipping over cars and setting them on fire. I was like, oh my God.
Like,
it was like, it went from, this to like,
to like, boom,
like very
stuff,
quickly. And I'm like, oh, I think I should get out of here.
Yeah, it's. I mean, Paris is kind of known for that.
Yeah. So you think it'll be fine?
Paris on fire. I think you guys will be fine. It's gonna be
all
okay.
right. Well, I'll live stream from the riots.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be fun with the cell phone. This will be the last episode, but also the most viewed.
Yeah, it'll be like that shaky cam where I'm down the street. I know,
like when Latif gets torched in the.
Yeah, I mean,
up in flames.
I think I'm the type of people they arrest in Paris. Like, I think.
yeah, with the last name, and you look at like maybe like.
Because that's the whole strife with like Moroccans and stuff, right?
Yeah, of course. It's a lot of North Africans, which have a lot of stuff going on in Paris for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not. Maybe you're already booked, right?
Yeah.
You can't get out. Yeah.
I mean, I'd lose a bunch of money, but
no, just do it. Come on, don't be a chicken.
I think it'll be. You know what's good is that the Paris police do not mess around.
Yeah.
The gendarmes and stuff.
They're used to it. Yeah.
They like even when I saw them in Tahiti, like Tahiti's like so chill. And then you see the gendarme come in. They're like machine gun, like buff, like
there's this I forgot the name now. There's this like worldwide known special ops group, and they're French. Like the hardest, toughest dudes, like that can get hired.
Yeah,
they're French, Fremdlegionnaires, and like basically, if you basically committed a bunch of crimes and you're like on the run, but you sort of want to get like they sort of take you in, and then you sort of no questions asked, and these are the guys that get hired by all the governments or stuff, like to do the real dirty work.
That's what I heard. The best special forces are French, like the most elite, the most.
It's crazy because you think they're too soft, smoking cigarettes and eating croissant all the time.
Well, because they have that, because the Germans took over France so easily. But I think
no, but I think it's the French, like it's based in French, but I think it's a mixed group of people, obviously. But it could be like, but the organization and the mindset and the bosses behind it are French for sure.
Yeah, and France was like France was a major power. Like they're a nuclear
Every
power.
European had their time. Yeah.
Yeah, they were a nuclear power. They were like a global, colonial power.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean,
France was a French colony. Used to be like you had to like know French to have.
I know it was a language of
Spanish. Diplomacy, like you had to know it.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. The language of sort of diplomacy, and also like of being a little bit more upscale and knowledge and educated. Like you had to speak French.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Thank God those times are over.
I don't. You know how your memory is not 100%, but like my memory of going to the Eiffel Tower for the first time, and I could totally be wrong, but this is what I remember. I remember going up, and they're like, "Oh, look, in English, Spanish, and French. Like every little time you go up to a new level." It was like in 3 languages. And it's like, oh, this is the first level. This is how we built the Eiffel Tower. This is Eiffel Tower in construction. And then it gets to the point where it says, oh, and this is when the French took down the German flag off the Eiffel Tower. And that was in English, French, Spanish, and German. And that's what I remember. I don't know if that's accurate, but I remember telling that to you.
Very
and I was
proud. Very proud.
Like, we're going to put this one in German too.
Just enjoy the food in France. That's all I can say.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been since
Yeah.
2010.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a saying in Germany, but I guess it's every year. It's like, I love France. I wish the French would not live there. Like the country itself is nice, the food, but the French people, like
Yeah,
they're
well,
the problem.
you tried, and that's what happened. All right, need to edit this
Anyways,
out.
let's end on a positive note.
Yeah.
I guess I see you in person again,
Yeah, I'll
and
see
we'll
you
do
Sunday,
like
which
an
is weird to say.
yes, no, yeah, Sunday we fly in. I think Monday.
I see you
It's
Monday.
probably like yeah,
Wow.
Monday, and then also yeah, set up the pod, the chairs and the cameras and stuff.
Yeah, I'll set up the. Oh, yeah. You're
Just
getting
kidding.
that's a lot of pre-roll. Don't worry, I'll get it done. And
I know. Yeah.
this, I totally slipped my mind, but the last episode went up late, so I'm not going to do that this time.
Yeah,
This one will be on time.
perfect.
So, dude, good to
Good.
see you.
Good to see you. And
Yeah,
I
we're
gotta
back
run
in
now.
our element
Routine.
here, where we have yin and yang.
Exactly. Yeah, white and
Yeah.
black and white. And then we'll talk about the rest when I get to LA.
Okay, sounds
Because you're
good.
there a couple of days, right? Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
Steve,
cheers.
take care. Follow us and all the best.
Oh yeah, all the
Cheers.
stuff. Spinning logo. You
Yeah.
know what to do. Follow us. Latif Tayord,
Yeah.
Cheetah Berlin, Techno Hollywood.
Yes,
Pod.
yes. Take care. Peace out.
Techno.